Okay. AM1, certified personal trainer, low carb keto coach, back at you with another video. Got to get it while it's hot. This is going to be raw, unedited. You're getting the whole file. As much as I want to edit it and make it perfect, I'm a videographer as well as a fitness guy. So I'm a bit of a perfectionist, which is exactly why I need to be way more consistent with content. But I'm very busy. But I'm so interested in the collapse of the sugar diet, sugar fasting. I knew this could only last a certain amount of time. And again, no hate. Shout out to Cole Robinson. I've checked this guy out for many, many years, and he's been somewhat of an inspiration. Uh, I'm very much interested in information from all sources, and I understand now we have YouTube, Google, YouTube University, just online anyway. So the idea of getting information from influencers and YouTubers, it's a thing. It is a thing. And when you get into this realm, it's tricky, right? Because there are people who want to get views, get clicks, sell a product. And I'm not saying that's his purpose, but you know, he, meaning Cole Robinson, really just went crazy with the sugar diet thing. For the people who don't know, again, I made a video talking about how there's people I interact with in real life here in the Bay Area and Las Vegas who have no idea about the sugar diet thing. People who, interact on social media but are still mostly focused on Instagram or even Facebook or TikTok or Twitter X, whatever. But here in the sphere of YouTube folks, there's a guy, Cole Robinson Snake Diet. He's on Facebook too. But I want to make it clear is and was a thing where a lot of people were being advised to use extremely high carb sugar diets as a weight loss strategy. And of course, as crazy as it sounds, of course, there are people who are very desperate to lose weight at any cost and to do it with the path of least resistance. So if you tell people these days, at a time where so many people are dealing with insecurities, mental illness, just distorted perception about life and reality, if you give people a magic bullet solution, Ozempic, whatever you can do to lose weight without putting in any effort, how you can lose weight while everybody wants to make changes. They want the world to change, but a few people want to actually change. So if you tell people who are desperate to lose weight, feel a certain kind of way about it, that they can lose weight by eating high percentage sugar, more sugar, more sugar, get it in, I just knew it was a ticking time bomb. So Cole Robinson just kind of pulled back on that, changed up the whole branding thing. And again, I'm a videographer, I'm a media guy, I'm a marketing guy, I'm an advertising guy. It's literally what I do for a living. Just came up on 10 years of doing this kind of work. And I always emphasize this because it has informed me so much, myself, on my perception about how I consume, how I arrive at, how I process any kind of information, because you get into the idea of essentially what is public relations or propaganda or how messages are being communicated. It's communications, it's marketing. I'm big on that. So I understand when people start talking about brand names, Cole Robinson specifically, and again, this is not to hate on him, but he talked about sugar diet as a brand name as opposed to just saying low fat. And, we've heard low fat for the last 30, 40 years, low fat diets. Now, this is the interesting thing, like understanding macronutrients and, fat, protein, carbs, understanding how to leverage and balance these things for a balanced diet. And it's actually pretty simple, but it's kind of complex the more you get into it. A lot of people, oddly enough, don't have time in the day to understand how this stuff works, but it's literally how your body works. So there's that. But it's part of why we need, you know, fitness coaches, diet coaches, nutrition coaches. Maybe, I guess you could say doctors or medical folks. But if you know, that's a pretty slippery slope. But in the realm of influencers who are highly motivated to get more subscribers, more followers, more views, affiliate deals, sell a product, it gets very tricky. Cole specifically talked about openly saying now he was trolling people, essentially, I guess, and I'll paraphrase it in the sense that creating something catchy, potentially controversial with the aim of garnering interest in his brand, his channel, his content. And as he put it, getting people to understand that they can lower the fat, that they can lower the protein, that you don't have to be afraid of sugar. Now, this is an interesting thing, right? Because as we move forward with diet, nutrition, understanding, there's been the recent discussion where people are saying, protein isn't the enemy, red meat isn't the enemy. Because, we have the ongoing diet wars between, are you going to be vegetarian or go as far as vegan, whether it be a vegan diet or vegan for ethical reasons, all the way to the other end of the spectrum, the hottest thing in the last, 5 years or so, carnivore diet. And then you have keto. That's been around for decades. So you have these different diets with these different diet titles. So to Cole Robinson's point, when you can put together essentially a marketing campaign around eating, because eating is a big thing. It's like a primal instinct. It's psychological, it's emotional. When you tie it to a survival instinct, similar to SCX drive, right? When you get into these things, these are like primal instinctual things. And then you tie it together with media and marketing. And then the fact that most of what people are eating, the foods people are consuming, are highly addictive. When you put that all together, you create this very interesting sort of mush of confusion, potential confusion, absolute confusion. And when you put in motivations of, food companies, along with the motivations of influencers who are telling you what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, it gets extremely confusing. Getting into coaching myself, I've been directly confronted with the psychology of this stuff. And one of the biggest things, I don't know where to start. I don't know who to listen to. This is extremely interesting stuff. I just had some discussions literally earlier today where they talked about, a friend of mine was talking about the idea of, from a nutrition, coaching, or fitness personal trainer perspective, trainers at this point don't even necessarily have to look the part, meaning they could look like a very unfit person, but be looking to coach people in fitness. And while that, of course, is true, I think it's pretty obvious that it works better, maybe, if someone looks the part and can demonstrate, hey, I got like this because here's the kind of techniques that I use. Here's the strategies I use. So I go into that because just in this realm of people being confused about who to listen to, what to listen to, we can have influencers come online and lead people down a road to say, hey, try this new diet, try this new idea, but it's actually not new. It's something old. It's rice diet. It's sugar diet. People have done this before. We manipulate and modulate the macronutrients in such a way where we leverage these different hormones and we upregulate this and we downregulate that. And if you do it right, you can miraculously lose all of this weight. And the crazy part is there is truth to that. But part of it is, at what cost? Are we looking to build actual health, or are we just looking to lose weight? Those are two different things. I would argue that you want to get healthy, fix your metabolism, fix your digestion, fix what's going on with your body, and weight loss will be an automatic side effect of that. Everybody knows this to be true, and especially myself getting into fitness and being a coach. And I've done it myself, and I've helped other people do it. So we all understand how the mechanism works, but of course, some people want to think of it in a more short-sighted kind of way. I just want to lose the weight. Aesthetic purposes, I want to look good and feel good based on how I look in the mirror. But it's like, wait a minute, it's actually what's going on inside that's truly going to dictate, how you feel relative to, you're going to look better, so you're going to feel better, but you're actually going to be better in the sense that your body is functioning properly. You only get one of these things. You guys know how it is. There's some people who put more emphasis and energy into how pretty and how clean their car and their car engine is, more so than their own body. And then some people go on to later pay the price when they're diagnosed with whatever illness and prescribed whatever, drug to fix that, which of course then leads into a cascade of other drugs and more drugs and, right, how the whole situation works. And then of course you have people like myself who are saying, hey, let me help people and avoid some of the pitfalls of this. At the same time, you get coaches who say, hey, let me just make some money. And there's, things in between, right? There's some people who could have genuine motivations and kind of get lost in the sauce with the money and the clout and the attention and the fame. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying anyone should have it perfect, but it's easy to see the influences and the motivations and people being pulled in different directions. And again, we're at a time where people, the general population, is very unhealthy from a metabolic damage perspective. And of course, as I always say, I've been saying this for years, if you eat fake food, you build a fake body. That includes a fake brain, fake hormones, fake perception. Your entire perception of the world will not be accurate. It will not be in true alignment with some type of objective reality. If you eat fake food and you're using that to constitute your body, then essentially you have a fake body, fake organs, fake eyes, fake eardrums, fake everything, fake brain. So if your brain is the processor for your perception, you see where this goes. If your body is building hormones and an endocrine system and all these different things, and you're building that with fake materials, then obviously your hormones are not going to function properly. I said I was going to keep the video raw, and I thought I'd turn this off. Let me call you back. I'm in the middle of filming a video, and I promised that with the video I was recording, I was going to keep it live and unedited. So let me hit you back. All right, so as I said, stand true to that, and I won't be too much longer. But it's interesting now to see. Again, I'll tighten up this whole thing. I really just wanted to get this off right now because I listened to Cole Robbins' video, and again, respect to him, right? Because I really love the idea of being able to do a live demonstration of how easy it is to pitch people something. Now it is, again, I was going to do a video. I'm so mad I missed out on so much content that I wanted to do, my own personal clout chase based on this whole thing. Mark Bell, I like that guy's content too. Been, listening to Cole Robinson for years. So again, I'm not trying to diss them. I like a lot of what they talk about. They actually genuinely seem like cool guys. Like if I, was in a room talking to them, they seem like they would be cool. I know Cole's whole thing is crazy and it's, shock and awe and shock value. And I get it. And he openly understands the whole marketing element of this stuff. So I get it. It's not for me. I'm way more bland and more boring and just kind of like, I just got to be myself. But with all that said, it was just a matter of time before this kind of came to a head because it's not sustainable to consume that much sugar. Again, this is going back to the sugar diet, sugar fasting. It was never going to be sustainable, and then it's arguably just not healthy. Even if you did try to just run that program for a few days, you're telling people that are in a position of desperation, highest levels of metabolic damage, highest levels of mental illness, people wanting the easy fix with doing the least amount of work. And there's some logic to that, but at the same time, if you have people who have been putting themselves at a deficit for years and years and decades, and then you give them this easy, quick fix, and they want to latch onto that, that's extremely dangerous. So again, I'll do another video on this because this goes beyond just the diet thing. This is really talking about the state of the world in the sense that people want these quick and easy fixes and don't want to do the real work, the harder work, or again, something I've said for years, the hardest, easiest thing, really understanding, get the discipline down, understanding the detrimental things, the offers that are being made to us that we can either accept or decline. This is getting into food and, diet and, fake foods, processed foods. Things are being offered to us from corporations, drugs, recreational drugs masquerading as food and nutrition. Like when we understand what processed foods really are, then it becomes very clear. And it's a mindset shift that more people should be looking to adopt. And then it becomes a matter of saying, hey, wait a minute, they're offering these things in a store. Nobody's making me buy this, so I can opt out. I can decline the offer. This is a big mindset shift that I talk about with all of my clients in my programming. We get to the psychology of it because, again, as a media guy, essentially I'm using and leveraging strategies that are reverse engineering marketing. What companies are using to market to you, I understand these things, so I'm looking to reverse engineer that and sort of tell you exactly what's going on. And if possible, uncouple the sort of emotional connection they've made between yourself and these foods. And of course, the physiological connections that people have made with these foods based on literally getting a sense of high because your body chemistry is reacting to these fake foods and these combinations of salt, sugar, fat. They are literally engineering these things. And on top of that, they're using visual marketing, jingles, all of these things to sell it to you. When we have influencers running around saying, hey, yeah, just eat this, eat that, eat sugar all day, and we're already in a state where people are at a massive deficit on cognitive function, and people love being told what they want to hear. We're in an era of people putting emotions before facts or feelings, emotions and feelings before facts. Uh, and it's very dangerous, slippery slope. Body positivity. Worry about how someone feels more so than their actual health. And let's try to instill that in such a way where we can even maybe create political issues or the idea of being politically correct in how you address someone's weight or excess body fat, despite the fact that we objectively know someone is unhealthy. We need to tap dance around that. We're in that era, and coupled with people wanting the path of least resistance while doing the least amount of real change or the least amount of real work, it's extremely dangerous and precarious. And I love it in the sense that, sorry, some people had to fall for it. People are up in arms right now. People were really loving the whole idea of, oh my God, this is all I got to do is eat sugar and I can lose all the weight. It can't be this good. And we love it. Building whole channels around it, being inspired to create, which is a cool thing. But then at the same time, you add in, economic downturn right now. If someone says, oh, I'm going to build a YouTube channel and get monetized, then there's even more of an incentive to do this thing. I'm a content creator now, talking about this diet that I heard from this influencer, and it's the big thing right now, and everybody's doing it. But the whole time you're standing on a rug of something that's unsustainable, that can't even work for everyone. And there's a whole lot of other issues that go into truly the metabolic mechanisms about this whole sugar diet, sugar fasting thing that makes it highly variable and nowhere near as simple as some of the guys have talked about. And again, I'm putting together some content that'll really get into the weeds with that. Some of the stuff I get, it's kind of higher level stuff, but when you really understand the mechanisms of it, and it's a lot of things, I listen to a lot of people, I read a lot of stuff, and it's some dots I've connected that I think a lot of people have missed out on. So stick around, stay tuned, hit the subscribe button if you made it this far into the video. I'm going to be circling back with some hidden gems, some things that I haven't heard, some pretty high level influencers, some big names. I've never heard anybody quite put together what I have in mind, but this thing is a perfect opportunity right now for trainers and coaches to really say, yes, look at the power of the influence of the content. And we have to be that much more careful with this because the state of the world, the state of the average person, metabolic damage by default should be seen as a potentiality for some type of mental illness, mental health from a physiological level. I mean, how could they be, uncoupled? Obviously, one thing directly sets the stage for another, and then it becomes a feedback loop. And then you tie that in with social media running rampant, and then actual economic issues and social issues. When you tie it all together, it's a kind of precarious and dark thing. But again, myself coaching, I start with something that is the most objective thing. Hey, what are you eating? What should you be eating? Here's why. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what's worked for me. Here's things for sure. You definitely shouldn't be eating that. You definitely shouldn't rely on only that diet strategy. It might even work, but here's the cost and the price you're going to pay short term, long term for that. And maybe that juice isn't worth the squeeze. Maybe you can't do juice all day, soda all day. And some people are seeing it now and are realizing it. And the guys who led them down that road are kind of backtracking. Very interesting stuff. I stick with the tried and true things like, hey, one, eat just, leverage for sure whole foods in your diet. And I also leverage more of a low carb keto strategy. And I definitely have something to sell you. And this is my sales pitch and my clout chase. And I'm going to give you a really fancy diet name, and we're going to blow it up over the next 3 months, 6 months. And then I'm going to pull the rug out from under you guys as well. AM1, I am done.